What? Yo, wait a minute. Wait, ah!
Do you know what the #1 job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is?
What?
Is to act like it didn't happen. They all do the same job.
Katt Williams ain't joking this time. He's speaking on that Meek Mill audio, and folks, word is, what really went down behind that recording is way messier than what hit the internet. If Katt telling the truth, then that leak wasn't random. It was somebody inside them rooms exposing what really happens when the cameras go off. Now, if you've been tapped with street whispers, you already know Katt Williams for who he is. Always speaking up, calling things out before the rest of the world catches on, and now he back at it again. But this time, it ain't just industry shade, it's that Meek Mill audio everybody been arguing about, and Katt basically saying, y'all been looking at it wrong this whole time. And that right there changes everything. Now let's set the stage properly, because this whole thing don't hit the same if you don't understand where it started from. Sean Combs currently sitting down in FCI Fort Dix doing that 4-year stretch, and folks thought once he got locked up, everything tied to him would start fading out. But nah, it did the opposite. More stories, whispers, clips resurfacing, and now that Meek audio back in rotation again, but this time with more context. And Katt, being Katt, decided to step in and connect dots people been scared to line up.
Hey, Will, yeah, the judge moments ago sentencing Sean Diddy Combs to 4 years behind bars.
And this is where things start getting personal. Nicki Minaj. Yeah, you heard right, because before all this noise, she was right there with Meek in a relationship. She was loud with everything out in the open. But behind the scenes, word is, things weren't clean. She spoke on it before, hinted at toxicity and tension, even saying Meek got calm around men, but harsh on women. Back in 2020, she posted a wild tweet. You beat your own sister and taped it, spit on her and taped it, in front your mother and sent her to the hospital. Drake's D made her feel tough again. Move on. Then there's talk that even back then, she questioned Meek about his closeness to Diddy. Not just industry closeness, but that extra energy people couldn't quite explain. And allegedly, Meek shut it down every time. Denied it, brushed it off, made it seem like nothing. So now you gotta ask yourself, why would she even question it back then, before all these leaks started surfacing? She even spoke of Undercover Brothers on a live with Soulja Boy, implying that he and Meek were being piped by Diddy, and Soulja kept blushing and smiling in a shy way. He couldn't even sit still. Later in an interview, Nick said something about Meek loving controversy and said he don't mind drama. Could that be why he aren't clearing this once and for all?
Okay, so. But that's not a diss. Meek likes being brought up in that song. I don't know why you lowering his thing. You think you're doing him a favor. He's very, very happy being mentioned, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah?
Yeah?
Okay, okay.
Do you think it's a lot of undercover brothers in the industry?
Oh no, Queen. We don't know nothing about undercovers. Oh no. We don't know about that.
Okay.
And what's coming next, believe it or not, is where Katt really starts applying pressure, because he didn't just speak on the audio, he spoke on where it came from. And this is where it gets uncomfortable. Word is that Meek and Diddy audio wasn't some random AI creation like people tried to say. Allegedly, it came from someone who was actually there, a bodyguard, someone inside them private sessions, after hours environments. And according to what's been said, that recording wasn't even meant to leak at first. It was just proof, something kept and documented. Now think about that for a second.
Everybody was passed out. Yo, Diddy had that man in the room. Look, yes, I put my ear to the door and I brought the phone because Diddy started going in overdrive. I ain't know what the was going on, but I just heard slapping against cheeks. I heard struggling to take. I heard like, yeah, daddy. Like when he started all that daddy this and daddy that, and then I heard some hollering and struggling. Like, yeah, I kept the phone there and I recorded all this because I was like.
If someone inside felt the need to record anything, what does that say about what was going on in them rooms? And why is it that every time this audio gets brought up, the reaction ain't calm? It's panic. Now there is Meek himself, because his reaction's been just as loud as the audio. At first, he said it was fake. Then he said it was AI. Then he started talking about bots, conspiracies, people trying to take him down by tarnishing his image. But here's where it gets tricky, because the more he spoke, his story kept shifting. 1 minute, he not involved at all. Next minute, he was around but not part of anything. Then later, he admits he was in those environments, but claims he kept his distance and that he's no Diddy gang.
Yo, Shaw, what's up?
Yeah, y'all already know I was playing out this real life.
Real life.
You know Diddy gang, Meek Mill in real life. Don't ever disrespect me, you
Talk
heard?
that Meek. Yeah, Meek.
So which one is it? Because when your story keeps moving, people start paying attention, and Katt made that clear. He basically hinted that the silence from certain people ain't random either, because when folks got asked to speak up and testify, to say what they know, some stayed quiet, Meek included. And that silence, Katt saying it speaks louder than anything else. Because if you got nothing to hide, why not clear it up once and for all? Now let's rewind a little, because this ain't just about one audio clip. This goes back to them moments people ignored at the time. Those clips where Diddy calling Meek daddy.
Hey, what's up, King Son? Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, daddy. You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you. Yeah.
And the matching outfits, spa days, weird vacations. Like, why is Diddy taking another grown man on a shopping spree? That energy that didn't match what people thought was just a regular industry friendship. Those parties, trips, and wild gatherings that always had stories attached to them after. Too sensitive to break down, y'all can look it up. And now, all those small moments starting to connect into something bigger. And Katt, he not acting surprised. Because if you know his track record, he been calling stuff out for years. From industry setups to hidden deals to how fame really works behind closed doors. So when he steps in and starts talking about Meek in this audio, folks not brushing it off, they listening. Because whether you agree with him or not, one thing about Katt, he don't just speak for no reason. And the online community ain't staying quiet. One user bluntly tweeted about Meeky in the pool, his hurt in that pool. Then there's another layer people not talking about enough, the timing. Because why is this audio gaining traction again now? Why is it resurfacing while Diddy is locked up and more names are being pulled into conversations? That ain't coincidence, that's pressure building. And every time pressure builds, something leaks. Now ask yourself this, if that bodyguard really recorded that moment, what else might exist? What other footage, audio, or evidence is sitting somewhere waiting for the right moment? Because Katt hinted at that too, that what the public has seen so far might just be the surface. And more importantly, if more of these recordings ever come out, who else gets pulled into this? Because right now, it's Meek Mill. But if the patent holds, he might not be the last name we hear. Drop your thoughts in the comments. We're diving deep. And if you're here for unfiltered truths and eye-opening reveals, don't just scroll, stick around, and check out what's coming up next.